evening. It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday. Regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man, he's sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He said, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody. I hope you are, and you got us feeling all right. Sing along. Now John at the bar, he's a friend of mine. He gets my drinks free, and he's quick with a joke, or he'll light up his smoke. But there's some place that he'd rather be. He said, John, I believe this is killing me. As a smile ran away from his face. Oh, I know I could be a big movie star if I could get out of this place. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody. You are, aren't you? You got us feeling all right. Now Paul, he's a real estate novelist who never had time for a wife. And he's talking me Davy, who's still in the Navy and probably will be for life. And the waitress is practicing politics as the businessman slowly gets stoned. Well, they're sharing a drink they call loneliness, but it's better than drinking alone. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. It's a pretty reasonable crowd for a Sunday. I'm just trying to not get to that point, because when I get
It's
to
all
that
right.
point...
I've said my hellos. They've all greeted me. They've all waved back.
Sorry, you did that in the middle of the song.
Yeah, of course.
I'm singing!
No, you weren't. You were
What
busy mucking around.
You know what? You're fired. You're
Yes! Hurrah! Hurrah!
fired. Right? You're fired. Now, I need to ask, Where is Colin Bora? You said Colin Bora had not written since I said hello to you. Or, Colin, where are you? Write in now. We've missed you. It's a pretty good crowd for a Sunday.
It is. It is indeed.
And the manager, she gives me a titter. Yeah, it's so genuine.
I know.
Show 51. It's starting to wear out, isn't it?
It's
your
not.
smile. Is your
No,
smile
it's
wearing
not. My
out?
smile is still radiant.
No.
It's your jokes that are wearing
she's
out.
Radiant. Oh, she's radiant.
My smile is
Everybody?
radiant. Your jokes are just
No. I think my
wearing
jokes.
a bit thin.
I was trying to work out, crowd out there, all 5 of you who gathered tonight, instead of watching In the Line of Fire on the Line of Duty. It's a good one, I suppose, tonight. Could you stop looking at your phone? What are you doing?
I'm finding out.
What?
I'm finding out who's here.
Right.
There are lots of people.
I'm trying to work out whether I'm still funny. You know that moment when you think, if I had to go and do a show tomorrow, right?
As if you're not doing a show now.
But with people out there laughing or not. Because
They
I don't
are
know whether
laughing.
you lot are laughing. So now I want you to put your laughing
Rachel
icons.
says you're very funny.
Who said that?
Rachel.
Rachel.
Yes.
Yeah, but Rachel, be honest. Rachel loves me, and who can blame
We
her?
all love you.
Right?
darling.
No,
We
you don't all
love
love me.
you.
There are a few that don't. They're obviously misguided, but I'm just saying. Anyway, and the manager gives me a smile. 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 Because she knows that it's me. Oh, yes, it's me. Baby, it's me. They've been coming to see me for a while. I know you look good, but you can't play the piano like me.
No, I can't.
You can't tell the jokes like me. You can't sing opera like me.
No.
Oh, what is it you do over there? Everybody wants to know and stop and stare. Because it's me. It's me, it's me, it's me. I don't want to kind of become obsessed by me, but it's me, me. It reminds me of a joke.
Rachel's put the test signal on. She's shut you up.
Right. And
Thank you, Rachel.
It just reminded me of a tenor joke.
Tenors
Tenors are supposed to be very self-obsessed, okay? Self-obsessed. Everything's about the voice. Everything's always about the voice. And whenever you work with a tenor, okay, high voice, and he's always self-obsessed. He always wears a scarf around his neck and prances about the stage. And there are various people out there who know exactly who I'm talking about. And if they're watching tonight, you know who I'm talking about. And they walk around the stage, and the baritone was always the second, unless you're doing Falstaff or the title role. But generally, the tenor...
the baritones were never the handsome heroics.
No, they never were. They were the uglies. And
or the old doctor.
The old bass baritones. So the joke is told of the Italian tenor, and he's standing on stage and he's singing La Bohème, and he's singing this, and it's all very. Your tiny hand is frozen, and suddenly in the rehearsal, the stage manager walks on and says, Marco, I have to tell you sad news. So he said, well, what is the sad news? You interrupt my aria in the middle of the aria. Why you interrupt me? So he said, I have to tell you very sad news, Marco. Now beware. He said, your mama, she is dead. Your mama è morto. Your mom. And he said, mia mama è morto? Mia mamma è morta. Me. It's a vocal joke. You've got to understand what. Anyway,
That's less jelly babies for you tomorrow. That's all I can say.
And this gives me a smile. Because she knows it's me. They've been coming to see. To forget about life for a while. And the piano, it sounds like a carnival. And the microphone, it smells like a beer. And you sit at the bar and the bread in my jar and say, man, what are you doing here? La la la, la la la. La la la, la la la, la la la. Sing us a song, little piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. As the piano dies away, we welcome you to another JV live from the Steinway room with Sue. Sue, do you want to say hello?
I want to say hello.
Use your words carefully.
I
I'm not all night.
want to say hello to everyone. Welcome. And sorry for those of you who are cold and stuck in the snow. We do not have snow down here. We are a bit chilly.
Is it snow? Really?
Yes, some people have got lots of snow, but we don't have snow. And fortunately,
for tomorrow.
Yes, and some of you are eating Bounty ice cream.
Oh, my friend, no,
don't.
Why are you saying Bounty ice cream?
That's your favourite, isn't it?
I love Bounty ice cream.
It's all right, darling. It's
Sue,
all right. It's all right. It's all right. I've got some nice
look,
fruit salad for you afterwards.
You can make yourself useful. Make yourself useful for once.
What?
All right. Pop out in the car. I'll do us a couple of songs. You come back with the Bounty ice creams from the garage.
Nah. No chance, mate.
Sue,
no chance.
What if I
No,
say?
you can't bribe me. Can't bribe me.
Say, but I think it won't put that many in. Will.
It will. You think you're doing well with your weight now? Have a Bounty ice cream. That's it. You're in trouble.
Oh, Bounty ice cream. Do you know what? I mean, I can't wait for summer. I mean, because I'll be able to watch people eating Bounty ice creams.
You live vicariously.
Yeah, living vicariously. That's what you see. That's what you do. You kind of watch. You get them to report back on what it tastes like, and you remember those tastes. How do you eat your Bounty bars? You see, that's it. Now the Bounty ice creams are. I
always nibble the chocolate off first, around the sides.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then what? And then
just lick the ice cream.
Oh. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Okay,
That's created a real
nice bit of fruit salad, darling.
Fruit salad after the show.
Yes.
Right now, I think Rachel, be prepared. Here we go. We're going to do the next song, and I think it's going to be. There it is. Here it comes. Here it comes. Right, from the new album, Lockdown Sessions 2. Moments, here it comes. First track on the album, it goes like this. What a difference a day made. 24 little hours brought the sun and the flowers where there used to be rain. My yesterday was blue, dear. Today I'm a part of you, dear. My lonely nights are through, dear. Since you said you were mine, what a difference a day made. There's a rainbow before me. skies above can be stormy. Since that moment of bliss, that thrilling kiss, it's heaven when you find a romance on your menu. What a difference a day made, and the difference is you. My yesterday's blue, dear. Today I'm part of you, dear. My lonely nights are through, dear. Since you said you were mine, all mine. What a difference day makes. There's a rainbow before me. Skies above can be stormy. Since that moment of bliss, that thrilling kiss, it's heaven when you find romance on your menu. What a difference a day made, and the difference is you. Is you. My baby, it's you. My baby is you.
Me.
No one but you.
It's me.
My baby, it's you. Now, I love that song. That's number 1 on the new album, Lockdown Sessions 2. Okay, and it's called Moments, the album. Mm-hmm. And I make no apology for advertising this. We want to sell as many as we can to you, your friends. Now, you should, all 360 of you contributed to the lockdown crowdfunding way back when in the summer. You should have all got your second album by now, yes, including John Greenwood.
Apart from those of you who are overseas, you might be a bit delayed getting yours.
Yeah.
Some of them I've posted, but I haven't posted all of them yet.
Okay. So. All right. So
they take me a bit longer. I'm sorry. No, they just take me a bit longer to do. So.
Okay. Right.
I will be on my way.
It will be on its way.
Yeah.
So for Lucas and Chrissy, it's coming out to you very soon. For those in America and Canada, if you've ordered one, just be patient. We'll get it out to you. Just for your further information, the Lockdown Sessions 1 is now available on Spotify, and I think
and all other download possibilities.
So Amazon Music,
and Apple,
all the rest.
And
of it.
as my delightful granddaughter says, she says, "Alexa, play Grandad."
She's 4 years old and she speaks to Alexa. She has a relationship. She has a better relationship with Alexa than she does with me. So
rubbish. What? That's why she asks for her to play Grandad.
I'm just saying. Anyway, Lily came today and I was on the phone I've just been visiting, and it's something I don't want to kind of bring the conversation down, but well, no, not down. I just want to talk about. It was a hard week this week, wasn't it? Because a lot of people, of course, Prince Philip died, and Rach said to me, "You're going to do anything special for that time?" And I hadn't planned to, because I think it's been done.
It's being done very well
and
everywhere
it's been done.
else.
There was a St Paul's Cathedral thing on Radio 3 today, Even Song, which was quite moving for those of you who like that kind of thing. And the tributes have been paid, and actually by better people than me who knew him. I did not know him. So to be fair, I'm not going to try and be. I'm neither one thing. I mean, I'm very sad for the Queen, because she clearly has. She's lived with him for that long, and. But he was 90. I'm going to say this: he was 99 years old. He had a good innings, and if I actually, quite frankly, if I reach 45, I'm going to be a very happy man. He's done terribly well, and he was very active. What? Why are you laughing? What?
Basically, apparently Alexa is now playing Grandad to people, because I said, Grandad,
you're lovely. That's what we all think of you.
Sorry, people. Sorry.
You really are very old if you remember that one. Gordon Bennett, I remember that. Anyway, I came back. The reason was that Lily was on the phone to me, and she's only 1 and 4 months, something like that. And she can say more or less Grandad. Adad. And that's quite good. But she was singing along with me. I was singing The Wheels on the Bus.
Basically, what happened was that Matt did this. "Who's that, Lily?" And she went, "Dad, Dad, Dad, Dad." No. And he said she's completely destroyed their copy of the CD because she puts it in her toy box.
But today I was coming back from a very sad visit. And I don't think they're going to be watching tonight, because I think actually it could be that
it's a difficult time.
Has been taken into hospital. When I was there today, it was very hard, and so he has cancer, and it's in last stages, and actually to know that that's the way it is, and he has to get on with that. And
can I just say, this is not Graham Harrison. We know two Grahams.
This is Graham Wales, and his wife, his lovely wife Sadie, who's been absolutely brilliant looking after him. But it's been a difficult day. And I just wanted to say that this was a lovely man. He decorated our house many times. He was
very good-natured, very relaxed.
Of the village that your mother was in for 15 years.
He used to clean their windows and decorate their houses and so on. Very
trusted
warm
individual.
Yeah, very warm man.
And you could have him, and I know the Slaters, friends of ours, had used them in the house in the Isle of Wight, and many people used him for. But he's 77 now, and it's not a happy scene. So I just wanted to kind of pay tribute to him, and sing. I'm going to sing a song later for him, "The Lord's My Shepherd," along with everybody else, which I was able to. And I said to him that the prayers and thoughts. Those of you who are of faith, remember this community is a community of faith and no faith. People come in who are of faith, a lot of people of faith, but it is not a church, okay? It is like a church. It has some of the characteristics of a church, but it is open to all. You haven't got to have a membership card, only membership of the JV club. That's it. And, so this, I have to tell you, it was a sad day, because I had to tell him that people will be praying for him as he goes in, and we said a prayer together, and I talked the Lord's Prayer, the 23rd Psalm with him, which I was able to share with another friend who died from cancer, and now. So all of you, I think, have Graham in your thoughts, in your prayers tonight. Would you just do that? Would you send your hearts out to them, literally, now? And if you've got time in your thoughts and prayers, please put Graham and Sadie in, because Sadie now has to live with the consequences of that. So that'd be wonderful. Let's have this song, the next song, let's have the backing track for this one. I love this one. This was from the first Lockdown album, and actually this is dedicated to
This is for
Sadie.
Nicola.
For Nicola.
For Nicola.
Particularly
Nicola, who dedicated this song to her mum on the Lockdown Sessions 1. And in fact, her mother has recently died. So it's going to be the funeral this week. So someone else that we are going to cherish in our hearts and our prayers this week will be Nicola.
And I apologise to Nicola. She was a friend from Switzerland. She's Welsh, but she went to Switzerland, to the opera in Switzerland, and we worked together there quite a lot. And I think it was. I apologise. So many things were going on, and I forgot, and it was my error. But here it goes. What a wonderful world for you, Nicola. I see trees of green and red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. Well, I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful lip of Raul de Oliveira on Flugelhorn. Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, also on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you and you. Well, I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. What a great, great arrangement.
Fabulous.
By Mark, myself, and beautifully played by Arnie Sauvagy, by Daniel Beckett on drums. That was on double bass. On drums is Daniel Beckett. Piano is Mark Edwards. And flugelhorn is
Raul
d'Oliveira. An absolute 35 years I've been working with him, 37 years actually.
He's a star, isn't he?
An absolute star of lip. And that is on Lockdown Sessions 1. He plays on a number of tracks, 2 or 3 tracks, and some fantastic, outstanding playing. We're going to move straight on, and we're going to go to a friend who was on just the other week, and you. Well, I'm not going to spoil the surprise. Andrew Robertson, are you there with us? Oh, yeah. Are we on now? Try again. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, I am here.
You are there, Andrew. Whee! Lovely to see you, mate. And remind us, you were on a few weeks ago. Do you remind us the name of the name of the charity?
Yeah, so I'm the CEO of Projects Delivering Hope, and we work with the people and with the church in South Sudan, and we try to bring some relief in the form of practical projects to those people who've had a really tough time over the last few years.
Now, when you came on, you had a target, didn't you, really, of about £8,000. Was that right?
Well, we started off with a target of £8,500, and we'd raised about 4, so we needed another 4.5. Yeah. And I'm absolutely thrilled to say that since I came on 3 or 4 weeks ago, our fund has gone up by £2,147. So we're incredibly, just so grateful for that. Thank you to the community so much. I know that a lot of people gave their name and their email address, and they should have had a personal thank you from my colleague Charlotte. But to those who chose to stay anonymous, let me say a massive thank you to you as well, because it really means so much to those people.
It really does, doesn't it? And I think actually that I just wanted to get you on to encourage people along those lines, because often what happens is, we have people on, and we've got another charity on tonight, chapter 2, and people are motivated by the story, motivated by the narrative of what you've done and how you've done it. And what they do is they open their hearts. This is the JV community. They open their hearts and their purses, and they have helped during this difficult time. So I wanted to have them on to have you on to say, look, this is what you have helped to do. It's quite a significant amount that has been raised, isn't it?
It is indeed. Yeah, it is. And to those people, it's so essential. I was sowing some seeds yesterday, and as I was doing it, I was thinking, this is great, but it's just a hobby for me. For those people out in South Sudan, it's essential. It's what they live on. They got no choice. So it's not just a hobby and a relaxing thing to do. These seeds are absolutely vital that they can sow their gardens and grow some vegetables to live. So it's a matter of life and death, and they are so grateful.
So just remind us in the few minutes that we have, just remind us exactly what the money is going to be doing. When you've raised that amount of money, what are you going to do with that cash?
Okay, so we are working with the church out there who will select 500 of the most vulnerable households, and they will be given an amount of seeds and some garden tools to cultivate their land around their huts. The problem is that they were forced to run away to Uganda and DCR and a few other countries 3 years ago as refugees. And while they were gone, their houses and their lands were ransacked and looted. So they've come back, they're beginning to come back to nothing. And so we're helping them really from the ground up. These are people that just live in a different level of poverty. You know, they live in huts, which they build from sticks and mud and thatch the roof with grass. There's no running water, no electricity, none of the things there's not even any tarmac on the roads. So, you know, there's no infrastructure and they really are starting from zero. So the money that we've been provided with will go to providing them with nuts and maize and cassava and beans, seeds to grow all of those things in their lands so that they can eat basically this year.
It's such an incredible thing that I think people don't. I think it's so easy, isn't it? When we live in this country and we just go down to the co-op and get what we want, and we have money. We can get money generally, not everybody, but a lot of people can get money to survive. We are not living at that level of poverty. Andrew, it's basically I love partnering with you on this, and what we want to do is we want to keep abreast of what you're doing, so that when you do get out there, that we see some pictures of stuff that people have done. We're trying to keep, as many charities supported, and that people's generosity each week. So will you keep us informed of what's going on?
I will. I wish I could go over there and take some pictures and send them back, but obviously that's not possible at the moment. But as soon as I can, I will. And in the meantime, I'll ask the church people over there to take some pictures and send them over. And I'll certainly whiz them in for you.
That'd be fabulous, Andrew. And God bless you in what the stuff that you're doing, in the vision you have, and the motivation you have towards this wonderful work of supporting people who are so much less fortunate than us. And it's a real mission, And,
that's a great privilege.
So thank you for doing it. Bless you, my son, and I'll speak to you again.
Great to see you again. Thanks, Jonathan.
And you, mate. Bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And I think I have to say, I love this. I love the fact that this community does this, okay? And that he was totally overcome, wasn't he? He wrote to you. Didn't he write to you?
Yes, he did. And, he wanted me to give the message out to people. And I just said to Jonathan, actually, I think Andrew should come on and tell people, because it's very much more impactful if he comes on and he says what you've done. And we just can't thank you enough for your open-hearted generosity to these people.
It means so much. And I think I think what it does is it shows the way. It shows the way that we are. There's a wonderful verse in the Bible that we tried to base this community on. Sue and I have. Yeah. And Rachel and Claire and Ben have tried to base it on the fulcrum around which it all rests. Okay, and it's the one where Jesus talks about the sheep and the goats, and he says, when I was naked, and you clothed me. When I was hungry, you fed me, and when I was in prison, you visited me. All right. Now you think of the charities that we've had on, and all of them have done those things. They fed, clothed, and visited in prison. You think actually, and right now we think, for example, of Pete.
Pete Holloway. I think you might be watching with us. So,
and if Pete Holloway is watching, then bless you. And Pete has been going through really difficult times with Tanya, and
she's been very poorly. And we send out our love. It's been difficult to try and. I don't want to keep asking the wrong questions, so we send our love to you. And say, but Pete, the work he's doing with Prison Fellowship and the work that we were doing with Prison Fellowship, indeed. And so Jesus says, in as much as you've done this,
to the least of my brethren, you fed, you clothed, and you visited me. You've done it unto me. And when people say to me, and I know there are various people who are not of faith who say, well, I'm not even, without even knowing it, you're exercising the ministry of Christ, which is feeding, clothing, and visiting in prison. And as much as you've done it to the least of my brethren, you've done it unto me. And the other verse, the other bit of poetry, which is that wonderful line that David Bracewell always reminds me of, that better part of a man, from William Wordsworth. He says, that better part of a man, those small, unremembered acts of love and of kindness. And that's what You've Got a Friend Trust charity was based on. So we've done it because that's what I think. We don't just meet to have a good time. We do. We meet to take away. Well. We do that as well. And one of those good times is based on, I think, now, my daughter, remember I put the...
Your daughter?
My granddaughter, sorry. I usually play this on the banjo. Now, while I'm playing this, and this is for Mark Borisov
and Alan May,
our
very own bus drivers. And their wheels go round and round, and their babies on the bus go wow, wow, wow. So this is for you guys. Thank you for all your hard work, long hours, and devotion to the people that you care for.
And I want you to send in, absolutely right now, some titles of children's nursery rhymes you want me to include in this little medley. Do it now. Do it quickly, because we haven't got all night. So hurry up. Here we go. And I'll play the Wheels on the Bus, a few versions. This one. The wheels on the bus have fallen off, fallen off, fallen off. Wheels on the bus have fallen off all day long. But the man from the RAC has come and put them on, put them on, put them on. The man from the RAC has come and put them on all day long.
Baba Black Sheep.
Baba Black Sheep, have you anyone? Yes, sir, yes, sir. 3 bags, one for the master and one for the dame, and one for a little boy, girl as well, who lives down the lane.
Old MacDonald.
Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had a cow, E-I-E-I-O. What next?
Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Oh, Mary had a little lamb. No, I can't remember the song. How's it go?
Nellie the Elephant packed her trunk.
Nellie the elephant packed her trunk.
Goodbye to the circus.
Sing it.
The elephant packed her trunk.
The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round. that was just for that was
And
little.
there are lots more. We'll give them to you next week. Oh, we'll give them to you
Yeah,
next
we'll do
week.
too
Look,
many.
right. Too many.
We'll do the nursery rhyme. Sue, I think it's time you
Oh,
came
is
in.
it my big moment?
It is your big moment.
No, it's okay.
Because I think actually, here we go. I'm going to play you some piano music. All right. Now, I haven't thought of this. I'm going to play the piano music. Sue's going to turn the pages. So she's going to unmove the microphone in a minute. And it's called The Dream of Olwen by Charles Williams. Now, those of you who don't know this was given to me. And it says, Christmas, Merry Christmas, 1976, from Michael. All right? 1976, from Michael. There it is, okay? The Dream of Olwen. So I learned it. I didn't really know it. I couldn't play it. Right? I'm going to play it for you now. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here we go. It's a big one. There we go. Are you ready? I don't think I am. Blimey. Thank you, Susan. And now, get out.
Good.
Well, that's been many, I think it must be, I don't know how many years since I played that. Right, John Hillman has asked for this one. And this goes way back to days of singing opera. And this one is from La Bohème by Puccini, okay? This is for, and it's only an opera that can you sing a song to a coat. And it's in Italian. It says, "Vecchissima garment ain't antique and rusty, I last for well." He sells the coat to give it for medicine for Mimi, who's dying of consumption. So he sells his coat, and he sings about being poetica e philosopher. So it's a poet and a philosopher. And it contains in its pockets all the wonderfulness of friendships, and he's met. It's a very old jacket. And many of us have got those old jackets.
Yes.
and it's a very short aria, but it's by Colline, is the character, and it goes like this. Vecchiassima rasenti, io resto al pian, a scendere al sacro monte ordevi, le mie grazie ricevi, mai non curvasti lo coro d'orso ai ricchi ed ai potenti, nelle tue tasche come un'antri tranquilli, filosofie poeti. Ora che giorni lieti fuggir ti addio, fedele amico mio. Addio, addio. I remember singing this. We were singing, the first time I sung this was in Wexford, 1984, and I was doing what we call scenes from the opera, okay? And I just reminded of this. And as I was singing it, they had live fire, something they don't normally have.
Oh, gosh. Bit dangerous.
And they had
You and live fire.
And unfortunately, whilst the soprano was singing her bit, I finished singing that, and I sold the coat, I'd given the coat away. And then the girl who was trying to, she was by the candle. A piece of paper caught fire, and it lit another piece of paper, which then meant the whole table went up. But she carried on singing because she didn't know it had gone on.
Oh, right.
And the stage management were behind her with fire extinguishers putting it out, and she just carried on singing. So opera.
It's all right, John Dick. You can come out now. It's all over.
Yeah, that was for John Dick.
That was a nice short one, but especially for John.
John
Hillman.
I think we're gonna. I'd like to do The Lord's My Shepherd.
Okay.
And then we'll introduce
the guest.
Our special guest tonight, Richard. Why have I suddenly forgotten Richard's surname?
I don't know. Have you speaking into your microphone? You are. Sorry,
I am.
Quite see it.
And I must. Can somebody remind me, please, of Richard's?
We'll find out.
Of Richard's surname.
You'll carry on.
Because I don't want to not say anything. But Richard, let me know your surname. Well, I haven't known yet. Anyway, I just know you as Richard. Now this is Sue. Who's this song for?
Particularly for Graham and Sadie. Angela Raby suggested that we do it today, and seeing as you said it with Graham today, I felt that it was an appropriate one for you to do for Graham and Sadie.
And
but
I think an awful lot of people are going through dark times.
Indeed.
And of which there are many people,
including
Nicola, we've mentioned, and we think of Roger Sutton and Leslie.
Yeah.
We think of a lot of people.
And for all those of you who are having
Graham
treatment,
Harrison,
and
right at the moment.
Sarah, all of you having
Rachel
treatment,
Eves.
it's difficult. Yes, Rachel in hospital, sending us lovely pictures of the sunrise.
And she's got to be very careful how she moves, and she's not breathing well. So we think of you, Rachel, in hospital right now. And this is Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want. He makes me lie in pastures green. He leads me by the still waters. His goodness restores my soul, and I will trust in you, and I will trust in you, for your endless mercy follows me, your goodness will lead me home. Guides my ways in righteousness, and he anoints my head with oil, and my cup it overflows with joy. I feast on your pure delights, and I will trust in you, and I will trust in you alone, for your endless mercy follows me, your goodness will lead me home. The darkest path, I will not fear the evil one, for you are with me, and your rod and staff are the comfort I need to know, and I will trust. I will trust in you, and I will trust in you, for your endless mercy follows me, your goodness will lead me home, and I will trust in you. Your goodness will lead me home. For those of you who are of faith, we welcome you to pray for people out there tonight. Those of you who are not of faith, we ask you to send your thoughts, your messages, your kind thoughts over on the Facebook. On Facebook, sorry, not on the Facebook, as my children keep telling me. It's not, Dad, it's not the Facebook, it's not the definite article, it is Facebook, just Facebook. And so, on to our special guest tonight.
Dr. Richard Kay.
Sorry?
Dr. Richard
Dr.
Kay.
Richard Kay. Now, Richard, you didn't tell me you were a doctor. That was... Are you there? Let's have you.
Hello there.
Dr. Richard. Dr. Richard. My back's giving me a bit of jip. I wonder whether you can help me. It's that I'm just asking.
Wrong sort of doctor, I'm afraid.
You're a doctor of philosophy. I don't want one of them. That means goodness sake. So what did you get your doctoral thesis in?
It was in chemistry. So yeah, completely useless to you right now, I'm afraid.
I don't know, actually. I'm kind of, being in dialysis, I could do with some advice on biochemical, but my wife was a biochemist, it was her studying things. So that's a very strange pathway to where we've arrived. So what, you did that? Where were you going to go into research or?
I did, yeah. So I studied chemistry at university and then joined BP, the oil company. And so I worked for them. Well, I joined as a research chemist. And worked for them for about 16 years.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, and then decided that it probably wasn't the place for me. It was a great job, great company. Really enjoyed it. Learned a huge amount. Got to go some really interesting parts of the world, but just had an increasing sense that wasn't where I was supposed to be for the long run, as good as it was. And so back in 2016, I think it was, I left to do something new.
Well, that's just before we get on to something new, which is that's why we've got you here, and we'll get onto that very soon. But just tell us a little bit about your journey. I always love Richard. Dr. Richard. I always love to see. I always like to see people, what's behind people in Zoom, because actually it's very funny. You either get people advertising, you have people with their book behind you. That's quite an interesting one. Or pictures that they painted, which they really should have left on the toilet wall. And I'm just saying that anyway. And then what you see people's books. Now, books are often a telltale to the kind of man that you are. And I see behind you a lot of travel books.
Yeah.
So was that just for work, or were you? It seems I see the rough guides too.
Yeah, so, it's a bit of both. So I did travel quite a bit with work, but also travel for pleasure. It's it's been a big part of our lives, I think, over the last 20 or so years. Now we've got kids. It's feels even more important actually to share the world with them and educate them. And so we've had some incredible experiences traveling with the kids over the years.
Where have you been with them?
The first big trip we did was Brazil, which was absolutely incredible journey there, and love the country. Used to go there a lot with work.
Yes.
Amazing scenery, wonderful people, great cuisine. It was just just wanted to take the family there. So we spent 2.5 weeks, I think it was, traveling around Brazil, and we had an absolute riot. So that was.
How old were the kids when you were taking them?
I think our youngest was 6 when we went.
Wow.
So that was the first big trip we did with them, but it was brilliant. Absolutely, and they loved it. For them, it was literally a big adventure. So, for me,
mishaps, no falling off things,
we had there were a few. We unfortunately realised my son had a seafood allergy whilst we were out there, and we didn't know that until then. So we were on an island, miles from the mainland.
Goodness.
And he suddenly started swelling up.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit panicky, I have to admit. It was uncomfortable, but we managed to find a small medical center where they gave him an adrenaline jab, and he was okay.
Yeah.
But
oh my goodness.
we were a bit well, I went into kind of shouting it people mode, trying to get things done, and my wife was calmly praying in the corner, and
Godly women and noisy men.
Exactly. Yeah. I like to think
well,
it was a combination that worked.
I think that works. That works great. Richard, we've got you on now. We've got you on to talk about, because we believe in people's passions. Now, clearly, what you've done is you've given up work. You've given up your work in research chemistry to do what? Tell us about this a little bit, about where you started with this journey.
So it was a journey of many years, to be honest. That's partly because my brain doesn't work very quickly. But whilst I was working for BP, I had this a kind of growing compassion, if you like, for the fatherless, and that really started because I'd spent a lot of time chatting with men about their journeys, and came to see that whether we've had good fathers or not, the majority of us carry a father wound of some description. We're very influenced by the role our father plays in our upbringing, and that can manifest itself in quite unusual ways. So even the highly driven person at work that just has to win and succeed at everything. Now, a lot of the time there is a father wound that sits underneath that need to be validated. But also it can manifest itself in all sorts of other ways, whether that be crime, antisocial behavior. And so I guess I started to see the impacts of fathers on boys and men. And then I became a father myself. And I think that really revealed to me just what an incredible privilege it is to be a father, but also the weight of that honor that we carry for our children, and started to see fatherlessness in all its forms. And I think it's quite a broad phrase, or at least it is how I use it. I think there are a lot of kids that are growing up with absolutely no interaction with their biological fathers. But then there's also a lot of kids that see some of their father. Some may have a father living at home, but the father being emotionally absent because he's stressed and busy at work. So I think or at least I started to see just how big a problem we have in the UK, especially with fatherlessness.
Tell us a little bit about the statistics that one reads on your website, and the website that is called, I think it's the organisation is called Chapter 2. First of all, why did you call it Chapter 2? Just for people out there.
Yeah, so that's really to reflect that the boys we work with, the first chapter in their life is usually a pretty hard chapter, and if there isn't any intervention there, then their story that is unfolding can go in some pretty sad places. And so what we are aiming to do is to start a new chapter in those boys' lives by providing a male mentor. So that's where Chapter 2 comes from. It's about a new chapter in their lives.
Tell us, I was asking you about statistics. Give us some stats that help people to see, and we'll ask you some difficult questions as well, Richard, if you don't mind, but later on. And I know that Sue has got probably a few questions of her own. But sitting there's a woman, wanting to ask questions about that. But right now, what are some of the stats that have guided you towards this?
Yeah, so I think part of the problem is family breakdown, and the UK especially has incredibly high divorce rates, and now the reality is that by the time a child is 15, 1 in 2 children are not living with both parents, and the majority of those will be living with mum and not dad. So roughly speaking, 92% of single parent households in the UK are headed by single mum. And in some parts of the country, low income areas especially, that percentage can be even higher. So there's parts of the north west of England where in the order of 65% of 15-year-olds are not living with both parents.
My goodness.
Yeah. Ofcom back in 2013, another little stat for you, they said a child sitting their GCSE today, i.e. 2013, is more likely to be owning a smartphone than living at home with their biological father.
That's 2013.
Yeah.
Which means those figures, by the law of logic, means that the smartphones have gone up and the fathers would have gone down, I guess.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so you've arrived. That's the central thesis is, as far as I can read from your website, that boys need fathers. Is that too much of a simplicity, a simplistic understanding of it? Help me here.
Yeah, so I would say children need both male and female influence, and I think the harsh reality is there's more children growing up with no male influence than there is female influence. Okay. And so we wouldn't say that boys just need a man in their life. I think they need mum and dad ideally. But I think the issue is also exacerbated in the UK because of the fact that we have quite an individualistic society. And so when dad isn't present at home, the community doesn't tend to step in because we don't tend to feel like it's our place to step in and help.
Yeah. Okay, so it takes a village, in other words.
Exactly.
Doesn't apply to.
Yeah, I think part of the problem there is we don't see it. We're not aware of what's going on down our street. You know, if Johnny 5 doors down is growing up with a dad, we probably won't know because we don't tend to have strong cohesive communities in perhaps the way that we used to, and perhaps in the way they do in other parts of the world. Yeah. And so when a lad today growing up without a dad goes to school, the chances are he's not going to be coming into contact with many male teachers. So primary schools, for example, only 15% of teachers are men.
Yep. My son is one of them.
Good on him.
Good on him. Exactly right. Actually, he's quite quite exceptional in the sense that not many men are training, and for primary schools. But partly that's to do with societal attitudes. Actually, Richard, and a lot of men are questioned about why they're going into primary school teaching. And I don't need to paint the picture here. You understand what I mean. And so, there can be a lot of suspicion about men wanting to go into early years teaching. But that is a very big concern of mine. And I was thrilled when he decided he wanted to go into early years, and he's loving it, and he teaches the littlies. And so, but that's unusual. That is the exception rather than the rule. So is it just... yeah, go on.
I was going to say, this was something that you found, didn't you, when you were working in a nursery?
Yeah, I worked in a children's nursery.
Jonathan was working with 2 to 5 year olds for a year or two when we were first
Can
married.
you hear this, Richard? Oh, Richard's frozen. Richard is frozen. Okay. We've lost him.
We're just going to do it again.
Okay, we'll just renew.
Well, do you want to sing a song?
I'll sing a song. I'll tell you what. Claire and Ben, you get him back. I think we've lost Richard. I'll sing a song, and by the time I've finished the song...
In fact, we'll all sing a song.
We will. and we will do this, and it will... I don't know whether you know this one. Okay. You see what you can just muster it up from your memory. When you're down and troubled and you need some love and care, and nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just called out my name, and you know wherever I will. You've got a friend. If the sky above you grows dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind begins to blow, keep your head together now and call my name out loud. Soon I'll be knocking at your door. You just called out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. Now ain't it good to know that you've got a friend when people can be so cold? They'll hurt you and desert you and take your soul if you let them. But don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You've got a friend, oh darling.
You've got a friend.
My sweet darling.
You've got a friend.
My darling. You've got a friend. Last time. You've got a friend. Okay, last time. Promise. You've got a friend. No, okay, no more. Here we go. And last time. You've got a friend. Well, we're very glad we've got our friend back, Richard. And I don't know what happened there. I think this is the vagaries of signal and no signal. Richard, are you with us again? Let's just have you back in. Let's have you back in the room and unmuted, please. Okay. Are we unmuted now? Hello?
Yep. Should be all right.
You should be okay. Richard? No, it's not unmuted. We need to be unmuted, please. Claire, anybody?
He is unmuted. I can see it. It's all done.
Okay.
Hello.
Right,
Yay!
there we go. Thank
There
you
he
very
is.
much. You're back in.
So sorry. So
Oh,
sorry.
the glitches of the joys of Zoom, eh?
Yeah, my computer just died. It just turned itself off. Got a blue
No.
screen. Yeah, so I'm now pretty nervous that it's going to do it again.
Right,
No, we'll
in which
start
case,
talking. We'll
let's
start
get
talking.
going. Let's get talking. let's not worry. Have you plugged it in?
I've
Yes?
plugged it in. Yeah, it's
Okay.
all. Yeah,
Are you on Wi-Fi or Ethernet?
it's Wi-Fi, but
Wi-Fi. Okay. Right.
yeah.
Look, let's just now, Richard. So we got to the point where we talked stats. Sue asked a question. Can you hear Sue?
Can you hear me, Richard?
Yes, I can. Yes, I
Okay.
can. Yeah.
Great.
Hello, Richard.
Hello.
I'm just interested to know your journey from realizing that this was an issue, from talking to men and your observations and so on. What was the next step for you? What was your journey to the next part in the story?
Yeah, getting out of the corporate life was a big step. So
absolutely.
once I'd extricated myself and taken that leap,
Yeah, big step.
and yeah, it was, and it was more a case of the fear of what I'd be doing, because I knew I could succeed if I stayed in the business I was doing. And so the leap of faith was really one of, what's going to happen. So after I left, I spent a bit of time researching what is already out there, what other organizations and charities are doing, and decided that the way forward was to set something new up. And that was because I wanted to focus on men and boys. And the reason for that is, absent men are at the root of the problem, and I very much wanted to get men into the mission.
Yes.
And so everything we say and do is very much focused on getting the attention of men and doing things in a way which is accessible for your everyday man, and doing it in a way that most men can get their heads around. So we don't mentor in schools. We go out and we do practical stuff, and we ride bikes, kick a football about, go climbing, all of that kind of stuff. That's how we mentor. So yeah, I don't know. Does that start to answer your question?
No, that does help. So you say that's what you do. So how do you choose who you're going to mentor? Where do these lads come from?
Yeah, so the majority of our referrals come from the local council. So we're based in Reading at the moment, and the majority of the referrals we get come from Reading Borough Council.
You're plugged into the council network now, then.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. So they, the family workers, social workers at Reading Council, obviously come into contact with a lot of families that need help, and so that's the majority. But we also get some from schools as well, where schools are starting to see what we're doing, and they refer to us directly as well.
What has been the response from the mothers of the sons because that interests me. Now, it just so happens I must state an interest here, and I must hold my hand up in that my cousin lost her husband some years ago, 10 years ago, I can't remember now, 10 years ago, and left 3 children, and one of them, Earl, is a lad who is now into his teenage years, and that you have been involved in helping him. So that's where this charity, that's where you came to our attention.
Yeah.
And I like the look of it, and I liked the cut of your jib. I like the way it seemed to be talking, because it talked to real people. So I state that as an interest. But what has been the response of mothers to your interventions?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, because I was very sensitive towards that in the early days. I was very worried that we would that some mothers might take offense with the assertion that they need help. But what I would say is I personally just think raising a family as two parents is incredibly hard anyway. And you use that phrase, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, yeah, it probably does, ideally, a village and 2 parents. And so I think single mums just do an incredible job, because I know for sure that I would not want to try and parent alone.
No.
And so yeah, I was concerned that we may ruffle a few feathers, for want of a better phrase. But actually, I haven't seen any of that actually. What I have seen is countless single mothers just saying, I need help, because I've got this lad who's wanting to do things that I don't have the time to do and don't have the capacity to do, and he's got testosterone pulsing through his veins, and I just don't know what to do with that. And so my experience has been almost exclusively that mothers are saying, please help. If you can help, I would be incredibly grateful.
That's a very positive response. It's what I think actually that a few people in the community have been concerned. I don't know whether I could, because they've had emotionally loaded lives, and where either fathers have left, or they've been absentee fathers, and they've had to bring up the child on their own. But I love that answer, and I think actually that it seems to me that confronting it head on, as you have done, seems to be, and it's quite interesting that the council have come to you, and they're coming to you now as government bodies or local government bodies are saying, we need help from you.
Yeah.
Because they realise that the stats are loading up against them in a 10-year cycle and heading towards some of the more desperate sides of gang membership, of underachievement of what you state are abuse to women, for example.
Yes.
Go on, tell me about that.
So I was just say we've got a particular problem in Reading at the moment where there's been a spate of stabbings over the last few months, and the Centre for Social Justice, which is an independent think tank, wrote a report a number of years ago now, but it was looking at gang culture in some of the cities in the UK, and they found a very strong link between gang culture, knife crime, and fatherlessness. And it kind of makes sense, really, because for a boy growing up, and I think all boys growing up, that you're trying to understand, what does it look like to be a man? You know, how do I behave? How do I behave with women? How do I behave with other men? What do I do when things go wrong? And so for boys growing up, searching for those questions, it's only natural that they'll be drawn to environments of hypermasculinity, and in the mistaken belief that is what it means to be a man.
Yeah, and I think actually those of us who are familiar with gang culture, I grew up in northwest London, and where there are huge gangs roaming the streets and no-go areas, and children terrified to go out, and particularly young men. Those are big issues, and we need interventions. And so actually in this hyper woke culture that we're now living in, where if you dare to step outside of the parameters of that, then I dare to, and that's why I wanted you on. And I want to say that I believe firmly, absolutely, that we need people, organisations like you. I liked what you did. Now tell us a little bit, Richard, about how you're going about. You talked to me about having to. It was fine on a voluntary basis up until recently, but now the amount of referrals you're getting. Tell us about that.
So we have been operating almost exclusively on a volunteer basis up till now, but we're finding the referrals just keep coming in. So in Reading alone, we have a waiting list of about 50 boys. And to be brutally honest, we haven't done very much over the last 2 years to precipitate those referrals. So the need is unquestionably there. And at the moment, we're not really able to meet anywhere near that demand. And so we're trying to expand now and build our capacity so that we can meet that demand. We're as an organisation, we're now putting our attention to fundraising so that we can grow our capacity.
And so that's where we come in. Well, we want that. You wanted to use this as an awareness raising thing, and this is what this community does. Is it raises awareness amongst itself, even if it doesn't know stuff at the beginning. It now knows it. It's difficult to unknow stats like we're looking at now, and so then it comes down to, well, is it my responsibility? Then I believe it is our responsibility. It's yours and mine, and it's everybody else's. As much as you've done it to the least of my brethren, is how I started this. And a lot of people out there in this community are Christian. A lot of them that are not see the need still for, if you can, to do this, to find mentors for our young men. So, Richard, tell us what we can do and how we can do it, okay, in a practical way. Tell us about the things that are going on. Tell us how we can give money, because it's the money. I'm never frightened of asking for it. When it's for me, I don't like it, but when it's for other people, we can ask. Let's do the ask. Ask people out there for their generosity.
Yeah, I mean, first thing I would say, if there are any men in the Reading area that would like to be a mentor, then please get in contact with us, because we desperately need good men to be mentors. So just make contact through the website. But in terms of fundraising, we've got a challenge happening this Father's Day, so June 19th. We've got a group of 28 men who have committed to doing a challenge called the Welsh 3000s.
Oh,
And
goodness.
that is all of the 3,000 feet mountains in Wales in 24 hours. So that's 14 mountains to climb in 24 hours. It's a 30-mile trek.
Oh, goodness.
It's
I'm feeling slightly sick. Sorry, I'm just.
you're not alone, because I'm
You're not on it, are you?
I am.
You're not.
Yes,
No,
I know.
Richard, stop it.
Well, I felt it was only the right thing to do, but
No.
my knees.
The thing about leadership, let me just teach you about this, is lead them from the front and then say, have a lovely day and we'll see you tomorrow. That's what you do, Richard. Okay.
Well, I'm learning from my mistakes, put it that way. So yeah, 4 kilometers of elevation in 20 hours. So that's happening, and we got 28 guys, great group of guys that are all saying, yep, I'm doing it. They're all fundraising. So that group of guys, just everyday guys, just saying, this is a cause I believe in. I'm going to get behind this. They're all training super hard to try and meet that challenge. They're all going out trying to raise as much funds as possible, but we could really do with a bit more support. So I think you'll be posting a Just Giving link.
Yeah, it's up there.
Which
it's up there
brilliant.
now. Yeah.
So that is the link to the Just Giving page for all the men that are doing the Welsh 3000s on Father's Day this year. So if you could get behind us to raise money for Chapter 2, we'd be incredibly grateful, because we really want to end that waiting list. We want to make a big difference in Reading and hopefully beyond in the future.
Yes, is that your vision, to expand beyond Reading?
Well, the need is certainly there. We're focused on Reading at the moment because that's where we have critical mass.
Yes.
And so the next couple of years, I think we're certainly going to focus our efforts where we have the biggest return for our efforts, and really make a big impact in the Reading area. But yeah, absolutely. If things go according to plan, then we will look to expand, but not currently the focus right now.
Let's narrow it down, and it's easier for people to imagine, actually, with 28 guys doing all the peaks in Wales, and that sounds like a major challenge, and it actually is something that some people can get behind with their own sponsored this or they sponsored that, and they can give money directly to you.
Yeah.
Listen, it's 9:35. Is there a last kind? I like people to say a last kind of plea to people out there to think about as we leave you, as you go off and do your thing, and we finish the show. Is there anything else you'd like to say that just encapsulates what you? Yeah,
I would. I think first, just to be clear, antisocial behaviour, crime, gang culture, that's not the path for many fatherless boys. It is for some, unfortunately. But I think fatherlessness manifests itself in all sorts of ways. It could be dropping out of school, poor academic failure. It could be imprisonment later in life, or poverty, or anxiety and depression. Those are all symptoms of fatherlessness. But the important word there is that they're symptoms, and they're symptoms of something much deeper, and that something is a relational absence. And so I'd also really challenge people that when they come across certain behaviors, to remember that there's always a story. There's always a story behind those behaviors that we bump up against. And it could be fatherlessness is that story, because it is for a lot of kids.
It's interesting, isn't it? We sing a song written by a friend of mine, Paul Fielder, "Go Peaceful in Gentleness," and it says, "Be righteous, speak truthfully in a world of greed and light, show kindness, see everyone through heaven's eyes." And I think actually, it just, for me, it's tricky, isn't it? You see bad behaviour on the street or wherever it is. I don't remember, just as a closing thing, so remember we used to visit Borstal? I
do remember.
And what was it? What was the characteristic thing?
Yes, the vast majority. In fact, I don't think I met...
remember one.
I think I met one lad who was there for embezzling the
Conservative Party.
But he was the only one that came from a home with both parents. in it.
Every
So
single, and
we
we've
were very
visited for
aware of
years
that.
and years and years.
Richard, I just want to thank you for the support and help that you're giving to these incredible women who are raising their children on their own.
Yes.
As a mother of 3 sons, and with a husband who was out of the country quite a lot of the time.
On work, I might add,
yes.
just so
Just
that
swanning
we're,
around.
I didn't just happen to travel to Lithuania.
I know how much I relied on Jonathan's support and coming back as soon as he could, but also friends of the family and mentors and so on who just stepped up and just befriended the boys and ate at our home and played football with the boys and so on. I know how important that was. So thank you for the support that you are giving to these incredible women who are working so hard.
Yeah.
But as you say, are doing an almost impossible job.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much.
Amen.
Thank you for coming on and thank you for helping.
Thank you, and we hope that we can help you, and we hope the people in the community will give generously, as they always do, and bless the work that you're going to be doing for fatherless boys and young men in the Reading area, and hopefully spreading out. God bless you, mate. Thank you for being part of it.
My pleasure.
You, and bless you. We'll speak again.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, mate. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Well, that was great, actually.
This is lovely. Pete Windmill has just posted that our son is doing something similar in Birmingham, and many others are doing similar in other parts of the country. Go, guys! Well done.
Go, guys!
Did
you hear that? I don't know whether you heard that,
yes.
Richard.
No,
but
move on.
So
We've got to keep going.
Excellent stuff. Well, I suppose actually we do go into a song that is very apposite for this, and God of the Moon. So could you prepare the backing track for this?
Yes, she'll get that for you. And this was suggested by Liz Ormiston as a song that was so appropriate for so many of you who are struggling at the moment with all kinds of difficulties, and just knowing that God accepts every single person without exception.
Thanks, Rach. God of the moon and stars, God of the near and far, God of the fragile hearts we are, I come to you. God of our history, God of the future that will be, what will you make of me? I come to you. God of the meek and mild, God of the reckless and the wild, God of the unreconciled, I come to you. God of our life and death, God of our secrets unconfessed, God of our every living breath, I come to you. God of the rich and poor, God of the princess and the whore, God of the ever open door, I come to you. God of the unborn child, God of the pure and undefiled, God of the pimp and pedophile, I come to you. God of the war and peace, God of the junkie and the priest, God of the greatest and the least, I come to you. God of the refugee, God of the prisoner and the free, God of my doubt and certainty, I come to you. God of our joy and grief, God of the Lord and the thief, God of our faith and unbelief, I come to you. God of the wounds we bear, God of the deepest dreams we share, God of unspoken prayer, I come to you. God of a world that's lost, God of a lonely, lonely cross, God who has come to us, I come to you. Oh, thank you, Richard. Sorry? Yeah. Sorry, my wife just did a sign to me, and it was this. Now, what would you imagine that to mean? That's
know,
Batman's coming for dinner. That's what I thought immediately. I thought Batman. I did. Why would that? Apparently, that is for the Southgate's King of Kings, because that's the crown. No,
you knew, didn't you? You all knew. David, you are 80. I can't believe you're 80 on April the 15th, and which is 4 days' time. So congratulations, happy birthday, the most incredibly sprightly 80-year-old.
King of Kings, Majesty, God of heaven, living in me, gentle Savior, closest friend, strong deliverer, beginning and end, all within me cries out in praise, Your Majesty. I lay my all before you now in royal robes I don't deserve. I live to serve your majesty. Earth and heaven worship you. Love eternal, faithful and true, who bought the nations, ransomed souls, brought this sinner near to your throne. All within me cries out in praise your majesty. I can't bow. I lay my all before you now in royal robes I don't deserve. I live to serve your majesty. I live to serve your majesty. I live to serve your majesty. Your majesty.
Wow.
Can we have, please, one more song, which is Just As I Am? And it's a song that I recorded on a backing track from Hymns Project 1. And who asked for this?
Chris Chivers ordered Hymns Project 1 recently, and she says she's been really, really enjoying it, and this is one that she has particularly asked for. And I'll also like to dedicate this to all the Spring Harvest guys. Any of you that are watching, you have worked so hard to get Spring Harvest together and out to people, so thank you for that. And if you are watching and listening, we just want to say well done. And if you are watching and listening because you came across Jonathan for the first time as part of Spring Harvest, then you are very welcome, and we're delighted that you're with us.
And we've been there for the last 15 years, so where have you been?
Doing something else on an afternoon.
Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the concert. You can get it on and catch up at any time.
You can.
And watch the JV concert, which was recorded live here in JV in the Live in the Steinway room. And Rachel actually put that together, our techie lady who did another job for us this week. A classical
one
concert, which is on the Ongar Music Club. And I give a big shout out to them. You can get that Ongar Music Club, and that's coming up on the 22nd. Why have I got it wrong?
I can't remember what date it's going out.
We'll post it on the site.
I've already posted it once, but I'll post it again.
We'll post it again. And
22nd.
Jane Webster, we give you a shout, who
who
started this whole thing up with some friends and online. And so, anyway, let's have this one. This is a beautiful song that Matthew and I wrote together. In fact, my St. Saviour's Choir recorded this with me. Just as I am, without one plea, but that your blood was shed for me, and that you bid me come to thee. Just as I am, and waiting not to rid my soul of one dark blot, to you whose blood can cleanse each spot, O Lamb of God, I come. And as we're drawing near to you, your constant love will guide us through. Your grace alone is all I need. Oh, Lamb of God, I come. Just as I am, though tossed about with many a conflict, many a doubt, fightings within and fears without. Just as I am, poor wretched blind, sight riches healing of the mind. In you alone, and I that find, O Lamb of God, I come. And as we're drawing near to you, your constant love will guide us through. Your grace alone is all we need. Oh, Lamb of God, I as I am, you will receive, will welcome, pardon, cleanse, relieve, because your promise I believe. Just as I am, your love unknown has broken every barrier down, now to be yours, yes, yours alone. O Lamb of God, I come. And as we're drawing near to you, your constant love will guide us through. Your grace alone is all we need. O Lamb of God, I come. And as we're drawing near to you, your constant love will guide us through. Your grace alone is all we need. O Lamb of God. O Lamb of God, I come. And it's even better when I get the words right.
Well, you only wrote the song.
Do you know what? Yes, but I can't. It's funny. My vision is very weird. It goes all shaky. I've got lots of bits in front of my eyes. So
for those of you who haven't come across that one before, that was on Hymns Project 1. One of the songs that Jonathan rewrote the tune for.
Yes.
For which he rewrote the tune.
Hymns Project 1 and Hymns Project 2, which
Indeed.
is out now. In fact, we're just waiting for those to be delivered this week.
We are.
And Sue, do you want to do some?
I just want to say thank you so much to those of you who have ordered CDs and books this week. That's been really lovely. Just to remind you that you can go on to www.jonathanvera.com and you can check out all the CDs, you can listen to little snippets, and you can see that actually, apart from the two latest ones, they really are the cheapest that you can spend your money on. £8 for the majority of them, then £10 for the Hymns Project ones, and then £12 for these ones, which is the sort of the Lockdown Sessions 1 and the Lockdown Sessions 2. And these are amazing. I know many of you are enjoying them hugely. So just check out what's on those because they are absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much to those of you who've been very generous and donated to us to help us in just living on a day-to-day basis. And we are truly grateful for that. If you wish to donate, then it's paypal.me/Jonathan Vera, all one word. But probably easier for those of you who are not keen on PayPal to just write to me at sue@jonathanvera.com and I can give you any details that you want, bank account details, or answer any other questions that you have. And I'm happy to do that.
Now, just to say that tomorrow is a red letter day for many of you, but not for me. I hate shopping. I will not be going to any shops at all tomorrow.
He has not missed the shops because he doesn't go in.
I don't care. So, but for those of you who do like shopping, then it's off to wherever you go shopping. I've heard that people do it and have a lovely time. And those of you who are noting the ease of lockdown, you're seeing you can't see people outside. It's too cold.
Yes, it's
all right,
horrible.
it's ridiculous. So don't go outside and get you won't die of the virus. You'll die of hypothermia. All right. And just to tell you, you cannot die from going outside. All right. The virus, it doesn't work that way. So just go out. Be sensible with the people that you meet.
Be safe.
But you've been vaccinated. That's why we had the vaccination. All right. So don't be silly. Just go out and start to see people in a sensible way. And we wish you all the best. What a difference a day makes. That's why we started out. And the difference is you. And I'm going to get Sue to sing this one now. And thank you. I've been signing CDs a lot. I've got to go off to dialysis tomorrow. And so it's back to normal for me and openness for you lot. So that's good. And so we sing the final song that. And we thank you for welcoming Richard onto the show today. And really, we encourage you to be as generous as you can be to this great cause, I think. I think it's a great cause. Go peaceful in gentleness through the violence of these days. Give freely, show tenderness in all your ways. Sing it for us, Sue.
Through darkness, in troubled times, let holiness be your aim. Seek wisdom, let faithfulness burn like a flame.
God speed you,
God lead you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known
by love.
Be righteous, speak truthfully in a world of greed and lies. Show kindness, see everyone through heaven's eyes.
God hold you, enfold you,
And keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known.
by love. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace, and give you his peace. The
Lord bless you and
keep you.
the Lord turn his face to all
Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace and give you his peace. Thank you very much. God bless you. See you next week. Same time.
God bless you. All the notices and everything else you need to know will be on the Facebook
Thanks
site.
to the tech team.
Thank you to the tech team.
Who've worked so hard this
Absolutely.
night again.
As ever.
As ever. Bless you both, all three.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye.